Morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talking with Tyler. And on today's podcast, I have two special guests with me here today, Coach Adams and Emma Freid. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
You're very welcome. So, I wanted to start with you, Coach, and you were once an assistant baseball coach for Bloomfield and Glen Ridge. What was the decision behind switching to coaching softball?
Yeah, when I talked to Coach Jenkins that year, and the position had become vacant, he had talked to me about a great opportunity. There was a lot of great young players in there, like Emma. We had a great sophomore class in there at the time, and he told me I'd be walking into a team that had great chemistry. They've been playing together for a long time, and it seemed like a great switch for me to come over then. Um, Yeah, and obviously Coach Mayer was going to be staying on, who had been coaching for the previous 34 years, was going to help make that transition a little bit easier, having that experience on the staff with me too. So overall, it was a good time to make a move.
That's awesome for you. So, what are some similarities between coaching baseball and softball, and what are the biggest differences?
The game, I mean, a lot of the game is the same. There's a couple little differences in certain plays, little nuances. I'd say the biggest difference when I was going into it is the game in softball is a little bit quicker. You have a smaller field, things move a little bit faster. Small ball is definitely more of a factor in the game than it is there was in baseball. But again, just the size of the field, the speed of the game, everything's moving a little bit quicker. I also went from coaching the pitchers in the baseball program to really not knowing what I was doing with the pitchers in the softball program. So that's when Coach Corio came on and has kind of taken over that role because that's one of the biggest differences there. Other than that, it's just little nuances, little small things that you kind of figure out along the way.
The pitchers are definitely fast in softball. And, coach, you have seven graduate seniors this year. As a coach, what do you do this off season to teach get your underclassmen ready for the varsity level next year?
Yeah, it's tough. Losing this senior class is, like I said, not just a blow for like the team chemistry standpoint, but they also all played for us. So we have our summer team that we're starting up now. We had our first practice the other night. We had 31 girls come out. So now it's just about that development through the summer, taking that into the weight room and off-season training, come fall and winter, and just trying to figure out where we can develop players.
I wish you guys luck. So,
Thank
now
you.
for Emma. So when did you start playing softball? And when you started playing, did you think you would still be playing this today?
I first started in fifth grade, and I loved it. And I knew right from there that I would play like all throughout the rest of my school in high school.
Yeah, that's pretty cool for you. So, how did you feel when you were named captain, and what do you think are some important qualities for a team captain to possess?
At first, I was like really excited because I've been working for the past 3 years to hopefully become captain. And there's a lot like going into captain. You have to be like a good role model, respect like not only your players but also your coaches and yourself because it's a lot mentally as a captain to also want to make sure the team's doing okay, but you're also doing the best for yourself. But overall, it's like the best thing ever, and it shows like a lot of good sportsmanship between you and the team.
Very well said. Congrats on the honor.
Thank
So,
you.
you had a very good offensive season this year. Please tell the listeners what your mindset was every time you stepped into the batter's box.
Honestly, the minute I stepped in there, it was hit the ball and get a run in or get on base no matter what because I usually get hit by pitches half the time. But just the idea is to like not for myself to hit, but even though I would obviously love to, but to do whatever best for the team to get a run in at that moment.
Yeah, jumping in there for a second, Tyler. Emma is now our unofficial all-time hit by pitch leader in the high school program with 18 hit by pitches in 3 years.
It's crazy. So back to coach. Coach, tell us a little bit about the ups and downs of the season and how you and the coaching staff keep the team focused and motivated each day.
So actually, we were pretty fortunate this year. Like we said, with this senior class having graduated this year because we had Emma, we had the rest of our senior class that was kind of always just positive each and every day. It didn't take a lot to kind of try to erase those memories and get ready and focus for the next day, um, which was a blessing for us because they kind of took on the brunt of keeping that team morale up, and that was great.
You guys definitely fought in a lot of games this year. So you had a very successful year, and you qualified for the state tournament. You had to play West Orange in the first round, and I heard the weather was an issue there, and the game had to be played over 2 days. So tell us a little bit more about that and some of the difficulties that present to you as a coach and your players.
Yeah, wasn't our best outing. But like you said, playing over the course of 2 days, you go in there and it's we're traveling, we're on the road, and then you get there. There's some uncertainty with the weather of hey, are we going to get through 5 innings? Are they going to postpone this? We got to get out. Our goal was to try to get out and score early. If you're going to get postponed or something like that, you want to go into day 2 with a lead. All right, make it a little more challenging. We ended up walking out of there with a tie. Came back the next day, and like I said, it's softball, baseball. They're funny sports. On any given day, any given team, and it just wasn't our day on the day we came back. So it's tough, and it's a hard way to end the season for this group of seniors. Like I said, just great kids that have been in this program for 10 plus years. Some of them in the softball program in town, and multiple years on varsity. This senior class was the first group of kids I had on varsity when I first started, when they were sophomores. So it was a tough ending for a great group of kids, but the way they handled it, the way they picked up, underclassmen and things like that after that game, it's pretty nice to see.
Still had a great year, so congratulations on that.
Thanks.
So, a couple more questions for Emma before we finish up. So, Emma, you played 4 years on varsity. What were some of your favorite memories?
Honestly, just all the connections that I've made with the players throughout the years. Because to this day, I still talk to majority of the seniors that have graduated. So it's just nice being able to make a connection with all the girls over the years.
That's awesome. So, for the College World Softball World Series, just finished with Texas beating Texas Tech. Were you able to watch any of the games? And is there a college softball player you looked up to?
I was not able to watch a majority of the games, but I have seen clips on my phone, and I thought that was a really interesting game to see. But honestly, all the players I would say I looked up to because it's great getting to see all of those girls that worked really hard and to hopefully get there one day myself.
That's awesome. Hopefully, you can make it there. And you will be attending Caldwell University in the fall to study marketing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
What made you choose Caldwell University, and do you plan on trying out for the softball team?
I picked Caldwell because I wanted to stay close and still be able to commute, and I loved the school in general. I like how it's smaller and not as big as most schools, and I feel like it'll give me a better way to really focus on my studying there. And I do plan to hopefully try out for Caldwell University.
Good luck, and Coach. Thank you for both of you for taking the time to do this interview. Is there anything that I missed that you want to say about the season before we end the show?
No, overall, like I said, it was a good season. It was a great group of girls that we had this year. The team chemistry was incredible, and it was just a big thank you to the senior class for everything they did for us over the last 4 years. And thank you to you, Ty, for having us here today to be able to talk about it a little bit.
You're welcome. Emma, do you have anything to say?
I'm just excited to see what the program does in the future, and I'm excited to watch all the girls I've played with grow into better players. And thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. So, congratulations to both of you on a great season. Thank you very much for taking the time out of your busy days to be on my podcast talking with Tyler. Thank you all for listening out there, and have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.